Sorry, have we not heard? Welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is NRL from the Sidelines. And as we do it every time this week, we're going to talk about the round of NRL that's just been played. We've just been talking to Brian, and he just seems a little bit out of it. And we're not sure why, and we're going to have a deep and meaningful. Brian, tell us your problems.
I'm worried about my club being torn apart, Steve.
Oh, too late. It's already torn apart.
Thanks for your support. I didn't.
Such compassion.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell us, Brian. Let us help you out. Oh, yeah. Well, that happened anyway.
No, there's nothing to help out.
So he doesn't help out South's cares.
No.
South couldn't care less.
Let me tell you, won't win another game.
Oh, wowee.
All right, we'll see.
And that was the show for tonight. And
Yeah,
I think
thank you very much for coming.
Wow, that's it. What a hateful man.
So I was going to say, how are you? But obviously no point.
Yeah,
How are you, Tom?
don't go to me.
I'm all right.
You're okay?
Yep.
You here?
I'm here.
Game face on?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
It's good to know. Sort of. So, gentlemen, last round was round 20. A good round of football, I thought. No? Bad round of football? Thank you very much. There's some good games in it. And some controversy.
Yes.
Okay, so let's continue that theme of controversy, and we'll talk about Manly Sea Eagles going down to the Roosters 20-10. And I can tell you now, had Manly had their other 7 players, I think that they would have won the game.
Had we had one of them, we might have won the game.
Well, the Roosters finished with 62% completion, and I think in the second half they were 50 and under.
Yeah.
It was woeful. I mean, they were in control of the game for most of it, but they just didn't hold the ball, you know. And honestly, I don't think Manly were that great. I think we were just really, really poor.
No, the Manly had flashes of goodness.
Yeah. Well,
But-
about that.
So let's talk about one of the controversial moments.
Ooh, okay, which one?
The head high by the winger,
Smalley, Alfred Smalley, yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's saying it was just that it felt bad for Manly.
Yeah.
Considering what else happened, Tom Burgess and a few others,
yeah.
it's a bit strange.
It was a very. I mean, look, I felt for the young
Yeah.
kid, but he should have been binned for that.
Yeah.
And he should have got at least a week, probably.
He did.
Did he just get one? I thought he should have got at least.
Well,
probably a couple.
he had no prize.
But it was an ordinary thing. And it was probably just an immaturity thing.
Yeah, he's just come at him and gone high.
But the fact that they could miss that and not deal with it was just ridiculous.
I do think there was some feeling sorry for Manly in that. I've got to say.
Well, I'm happy for that anyway. Yeah, look, it was bad. He should have been binned at least. Yeah. So we agree on that. What was the controversy about that? That the
fact that he didn't get
the NRL didn't agree with us again.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next controversial moment.
Do you want to talk about Manly being split apart, or will we leave it till later?
We'll leave it to later.
Okay.
Is that your controversy?
No, I have another question for Tom now. Do you mind if I just do the show the way I usually do it?
A Jared question?
That's a Jared question. More controversy, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Well,
How did he
How
not
does he
get
stay on the
binned?
field?
He's a terrific player. I love him.
how does he stay on the field?
Yeah. How?
Why? He didn't belt the guy. He got up and leaned on his
He didn't
face.
have to. He was crushing his face.
It wasn't actually his face. It was his throat. But don't worry.
He leaned on
Like,
his face as he was getting himself up. He just used him as a lever.
just lean on him for like a good 15 seconds.
Let me tell you, last week, it
Far
was
out.
either this weekend or the weekend
What a
before,
grub.
there was someone was penalised for giving a
love him.
facial by rubbing his hand on their face.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Zach thought he was giving him a mouthful.
Yeah.
And I think he was just giving him a welcome to first grade.
No, that was more than a welcome to first grade. Yeah. It was two shoves in the face and
It wasn't a shove.
It was two
grinded
earlier
his
shoves
elbow
in the
in
He
face.
pushed him away and hit his face.
And then
Well, that's because he gave him a mouthful.
and then he keeps seriously though, no, like in all honesty though, like take the jovialness out of it. We're talking about a weekend where blokes have been sent off for head highs, spear tackles, eye gouges, hard tackles that I thought was legitimate that ripped a bloke's ear off, and here we go with an older, experienced player. Well, a 20-year-old gets under your skin. I mean, I find it really frustrating.
To be honest, that annoys me about Jared to do that. It seemed unnecessary. You're right.
Let me ask a
I don't know what to
question.
do.
If a Burgess brother had done that, what would you be saying right now?
Oh, in
You
the
would
bin
be
for 3
blowing up
years.
big time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely big time.
Yeah.
Well, it's in reverse now.
No, it's always in
No,
reverse.
no. Come on.
No.
Should Joey Manu be 5'8"? Because I tell you what, the Roosters have no drive without Manu in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah,
agree.
look, we compare that to last week. Last week they were exceptional, and this week I don't know what happened. They dropped the ball. I mean, the point is they dropped the ball. That's the point. They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball. You can't score any points if you don't have the ball in your hand. That was to me. That was it. And it was just ill discipline, and it was errors.
Great defence. It was that great defence.
Well, it was great defense.
I gotta say,
You
man-
scored,
They were fired up.
You scored after what's his name got knocked out. Well, he knocked himself out, but after what's his name?
Lindsay Collins.
Lindsay Collins got knocked out, and so opportunistic, scored a try. I still think he was held up. And then the last one was in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It was a bit of nothing.
I actually wanted Manly to win. Other than our bet,
Yeah.
I wanted Manly to win.
I know.
It's predictable.
I know.
It's
All
predictable.
right, let's move on.
Let's go on to Storm 24, Warriors 12, and I got to say I thought Storm struggled to beat them.
They did. I mean, the Warriors were.
They were in the game
They were
towards the end.
They were good with their attack.
Yeah.
I mean, not brilliant, but good. Good enough to win against a lot of other teams. So I don't know. Melbourne's defence has been average lately. They managed to put it together. So
Yeah, but they managed to put it together against the Warriors team who didn't throw a lot at them. So I look.
Yeah,
right. I always thought the Storm were going to win this. I just thought, gosh, the way the Warriors are playing, they went close.
So controversial moment in the first game was Warrior Hargraves.
Yes. Yep.
Controversial moment in this game.
Yes.
So I don't understand how, what the difference is. Well, actually, there is no difference in the judiciary's eyes, where Big Nelson used somebody's face to get up, but it was a deliberate elbow to the face while the guy was on the ground.
No, as far as the NRL are concerned,
That's
they said
Jared,
it was,
you mean?
No,
Nelson.
No, because Nelson pulled him down, and his elbow hit his head as he was coming down.
I know, but the NRL said that was minimal contact.
That's
so I'm not sure
ridiculous.
what broke his teeth, by the way.
I don't know. Yeah, well, that
yeah.
defies explanation.
It
Does
does.
really?
It does, because you know what? What I saw was that he held him up and dropped on him
With his
with
elbow.
his elbow onto his face.
Yep.
That's what
Absolutely.
broke it. So for the NRL to say, there was separation. Well, of course there was separation because he dropped him down and fell on him.
At best, it was clumsy. But either way, at best, it was clumsy. But either way, he injured his jaw.
Yes.
That's contact with the head.
But Nelson's starting to get a bit of a history about this stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
He really is, and I think he's going to come a cropper if he doesn't pull his head in very quickly.
Yep.
All right, let's go on to Eels 34, Panthers 10. Another controversial game.
At least there were a few good games. So I don't know what to say about this game. I mean, well, let's face it. I turned it on just as Cleary was being sent off,
Right.
and so
It was 10-8 or something at that stage, I think.
Cleary is my
12 minutes in, I think.
Cleary is my fantasy league captain and scored all of 4 points. Thank you. And then Parramatta just put on a bit of a display.
Yeah.
The wheels fell off Penrith.
Yes.
You just wonder what is with the Eels' mentality, because they're the only team to have beaten Penrith this year, and they beat them both times, and yet they get done by the Dogs when the Dogs weren't playing well.
Yeah, I know.
And the Tigers. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Well, I
Absolutely
don't
amazing.
think Parramatta have won 2 games in a row for quite some time.
Yeah, that's good.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Why
And
is
now
that?
Moses is injured. I meant to mention too, Meaney's injured as well. I think he might be out as well.
Meaney-
So they've
yeah,
lost another
Meaney's
fullback.
out.
Lost another fullback.
Yes, but you're right. Moses is out, and Cleary is out,
Yep.
and Luai's out. So those 2 teams may struggle to score points.
Yeah.
Look,
Question though, what do we think about Nathan Cleary's tackle and the suspension?
Oh, I think it was fine.
Yeah, got everything
sorry, I
deserved.
take it back. I think the suspension was fine.
You don't? You think it was a suitable length?
Would they give him 5 weeks?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's
I think
reasonable.
that's fair.
Tell me.
He's a clean skin.
No, he's not.
Well, sorry, no, he's not a clean skin.
No.
No,
No,
that's right.
but Lawton got
So-
5.
Lawton got 4
4.
for a tackle that was nowhere near as bad.
Go on.
Well, Murray landed on his shoulder.
Slightly
Murray
different.
landed on his elbow shoulder, but he took him above the
His
vertical.
elbow or shoulder?
And Kurt,
Elbow
and-
slash shoulder.
Kurt, he launched
Yep.
himself too, though.
Yeah.
Which is different.
Well, I want to know this though. Phil Gould's come out and said that we shouldn't be rubbing players out of the game with lengthy suspensions when they know they've made a mistake. Agree or disagree?
Tell me.
Do the crime, you've got to do the time.
Did Tom Burgess accidentally go higher, or did he intentionally go to take the guy's head off?
Does anybody
Did
ever
Lawson-
intentionally go
Well,
to...
that's my
How many
point.
people
That's my
intentionally go...
point. You
to
cannot
that?
say that, he's a nice guy, he's a good
Yep.
player, let's give him a lesser penalty than someone like Jared,
Yep.
who we all know is goes a bit
On
over
the edge.
top.
He's loose.
But it doesn't matter. The act
Yep.
is the act. Let's
Correct.
not take players' personalities or
Yep.
histories or anything into account.
Yep.
Or injuries, by the way. I
Yeah.
hate this thing where they now say,
Yeah. The
well,
worse
he
the injury,
wasn't hurt
the...
as much.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
I agree. It doesn't matter if I'm driving in my car and I hit someone, and I've been negligent and go through a red light and hit someone and there's a fatality.
Yep.
They don't say, "Oh, gee, Brian, you've got a clean record.
That's right. We'll let you off.
We'll let you off."
That's right. In
That's-
fact, we'll
it's
charge
just-
the other guy because you were so clean.
It's manslaughter. Like he picked him up and drove him headfirst into the ground. I don't understand why they could be talking about different penalties.
Neither do I. And I'd hate to see that happen.
Yeah, and I think the only time I can recall recently with intent was Travis Burns at Penrith, where I can't remember who he hit, but he basically threatened him, and then 2 tackles later leapt a metre off the ground to take off his head with a swinging arm.
Yeah.
I think that was intent,
Yeah.
but I can't. No player they don't go out to do that.
Hopper Whitey.
No.
Yeah, Hopewadi on Keith Galloway.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's another one. But you can't.
Spud Carroll against most of the other players. But yeah, but your point.
Yeah.
You
Point
can't
is,
be
yeah.
doing that. And
Yeah.
and the tackle is the tackle is the tackle. It's that simple.
Agree.
The only way you get it out of the game, like the hip drop that we're going to talk about later, is to start penalising heavy penalties.
Yep.
Because halfway, while he's got his hand between his legs
Yep.
and lifting, he's going to think, "Oh no, I'll pull out." If he pulled out and dropped him, no problem.
Yep.
It was interesting. I don't know. I was listening to Talking Sport today, and Graham Hughes has been saying this for a long, long time. He says he reckons that this all comes back to the 10 metres. If you didn't have the 10 metres, then you wouldn't have people holding up the player to get back, so
No, I
Ryan could
agree.
get back to the 10.
Well,
That if they went back to whatever it was, the 5 or something, that you wouldn't have half of these problems.
you wouldn't have as good a game.
Yeah, I don't have as much. I don't have
And
enough
you
knowledge.
wouldn't,
to
you
do
wouldn't
it,
have
know.
as good a game. Maybe what you need to do is the moment his momentum stops, ref calls held,
Well,
as opposed to waiting for
Well,
that tussle to
a
happen.
pet
But then you-
pet peeve of mine is
offloads
See,
don't
no.
happen then.
See, yeah, but that's just it. A pet peeve of mine is so we're off track again.
Yeah,
I know. I
we
can't
are.
help myself. But player hits the ball up. They're fighting in the tackle. They get away a late offload. That's fine.
Yeah.
Player then strips the ball or something happens. They drop the ball and it's a penalty. Well, no. If you're going to play the advantage, you play the disadvantage to that as well. I'm frustrated by it.
But you know what? You're right. That's so far off track, it's not funny.
Right.
Let's move on. Raiders 36, Titans 24. Poor Titans, they scored 24 points and still couldn't win.
Yeah. What do we think about the Raiders?
What an amazing turnaround. Them and the Dogs this year have been
Yeah.
wow.
Because the Raiders were looking bottom 4 beginning of the season.
I think they will give the premiership a shake if they make the 8.
Well, I just think they're a bit. I said this last week. They're a bit like Manly on most years. If you get to the finals, you really don't want to face Manly. I think it's become the Raiders this year because they're unpredictable. You know, they could be ordinary, or they could just have the best game of the year. You know.
Yeah, once they put everything together.
Yeah. Tarpany, isn't Tarpany a great talent now?
He's playing really well.
He's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there any controversial? It wasn't. It was a clean game.
I can't think of
Nothing
any.
to talk about.
Wow, that's one out of 5 so far.
All right,
One-
excellent.
All right, let's go on to Sharks 21, Rabbitohs 20.
Wow. The ref did everything he could to keep Souths in this game.
Oh, please. I could pick half a dozen things where he didn't give it.
And I can pick 2 dozen where he did.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
I thought this was a good game.
It was.
You know, try for try. It was close. as a South supporter, it made me feel good to think we can keep up with someone like the Sharks, because I always questioned as to whether we'd actually be able to do that with the top four side.
Yep.
And I know we've beaten Parramatta, but a real top four side. And because I really rate the Sharks.
Yeah, no,
really
they're good. I think they had a bit of a low patch for a few weeks,
Yeah.
but it seemed to have sorted themselves out.
Yeah.
Fitzy's doing a great job.
I mean, that thing at the end with Tom Burgess was just stupid.
Yeah.
It was just lazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it deserved a send off, but let's face it, there was 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So a
He
bin or
wasn't
a
sent off.
send
He was
off.
binned, wasn't he?
No, he was sent
Oh,
off.
was he sent off? Okay,
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
it was actually March. But it was a good game. Went to Golden Point. I hate Golden Point. I'm sorry. Give both teams a point.
Has Latrell missed 3 field goals?
I know. He's probably never done that in his life, and he was in front for most of them.
Yep.
I went out to get Chinese, so I'm sitting in my car for the last 5 minutes going, they're probably expecting me. Probably, come on, and they go, extra time, no.
And you know what, I was going to say, I've just lost my train of thought. You just killed me.
Sorry.
Not unusual for a South supporter getting old.
No. What did we say?
I don't know.
Latrell.
Hate Golden Point. Latrell. Oh,
Yeah, you hate Golden Point. Yeah. I love Golden Point, but I wish it was golden
Try.
extra time. No, I just want to play extra time. If it's give him that opportunity where he scores, he kicks the field goal. You know what? Souths have got another possession. There's a minute left.
Yep.
Let them see what they can do in that minute. And then you know what? Call it quits. We've given them a fair advantage.
I know what Tom's answer to this is going to be. I'm going to ask you.
2
and a bit minutes to go.
Yep.
Junior Totola scores a try. Was it double movement?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Okay.
He was trying to get the answer he wanted. It was definitely a double movement.
He touched the line first and then
and so was
forward, but he'd already touched the line.
The Broncos one.
Yeah,
it's coming up.
That was a double movement too. That was an absolute double movement. Seriously, you're kidding me.
Yeah, it was.
Honestly,
it's very, very easily a double movement.
Wipe your green and red eye.
We should have won that game, but anyway. All right.
Okay, another controversial game coming up.
Tigers 32, Broncos 18.
Well, that's controversy in itself.
There's a turnaround. That's amazing. Look, and they should have beaten the Cowboys last week.
These caretaker coaches, I don't understand how Potter doesn't have the job at the Bulldogs, but Noddy's turned the Tigers around.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you want to say about this game, Steve?
I love the way the Tigers play.
Oh, yeah.
What else should I be saying about it?
I think it coincides with putting Dewey back into the halves, I think, too. That's made a huge difference.
But there's little tweaks there. So the Tigers obviously don't have a lot of depth, but then they've brought in... So Brett Naden's back. He's a really good player.
He is.
He's a top centre. And then they've just brought in those couple of young blokes who have just been on the fringe, like Poole and the other winger who's... I can't remember his name. Anyway, so they brought in these young blokes who are obviously having an impact, and it's affecting the way they play. And then having Brooks, Dewey, and a playmaking lock just works brilliantly for them.
Kelma Tuolangi's playing terrific too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Did Brooks play last weekend?
Tuolangi going to Manly next year.
That's right. I can't understand it.
Did Brooks play last weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he injured himself, didn't he?
No, he didn't. It was Madden.
No,
I was going to say, what do you think?
Racking my brain. But
having the 3 playmakers...
Let him go. Let Brooks go to Newcastle.
They've said no.
I know they've said no, but you know what? For the last 3 years, we've heard about how unhappy he is, how they want to get rid of him, how they want him to stay, how everyone wants him.
He needs to change.
Let the kid go.
I think part of the problem too is they're going to have to pay some of his freight to get him to Newcastle.
That happens at every club anyway.
Oh yeah, but he's going to be on 1.1 next. He's going to be on 1.1 next year though.
Sorry?
He's going to be on 1.1 next year, which is at least twice what he's worth.
But you know what? You could afford to say, look, we'll pay 7, you pay 4, and you pay the 4 to Jock Madden. Or get yourself another better forward or something like that.
The rumour going around at the start of the year was Jock Madden was going to Manly, so I'm happy with that. He's a decent player. Controversial moments.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan Ricky's try was not a try. That was a double movement. Every day
Was it Jordan Ricky?
Was it Jordan?
No, it wasn't Jordan Ricky.
No, it wasn't Tessie News.
No,
it was the third try. It was Jordan Ricky's.
No, it was Mam, wasn't it?
No, Mam's was over the head.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay.
That was a double movement every day of the week. When you put the ball down and then do this,
yep.
I don't mean to be rude, Bunker. That's a double movement.
Yeah, it is.
See, and what I hate is that the NRL, the on-field ref went, mate, that's double movement, no try.
Yeah.
And the bunker goes, oh, that was momentum. I go, and everybody's going,
and momentum,
how was that momentum?
Momentum is very hard to pick, but yeah, I get it.
Like, that was a deliberate promotion of the ball.
Absolutely.
Like, worse than the Souths one.
So they were outgunned, the Broncos, and thanks very much, because guess who they play next week?
Yep. Now,
Sorry.
the next controversial moment, Pat Carrigan.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is not the first time he's been done for the hip drop.
Isn't he?
No,
Isn't it?
No, it was earlier
I'm okay
in
with
the year.
4 weeks.
Earlier in the year, he did exactly the same thing. It was cannonball tackles earlier in the year.
I'm okay with 4 weeks.
And yet,
Gotta
I
get it out of the game.
love him as a player, but you just got to learn. You just got to learn.
Yeah.
So 4 weeks is okay.
Yeah.
We break a
And
bloke.
I like.
See, this is where consequence plays a little part. So if that was next week against the Roosters,
Yep.
and he's done that to Joey Manu, and taken out
Shoot him.
taken out their best attacking player, which
Yep.
Jackson Hastings probably is at the Tigers,
Yeah.
and in effect puts a halt on their run to the finals, is it still worth 4 weeks?
Well, this is where we said before we don't want to be involved in saying,
Yep.
depending on injuries and all that sort of.
Yeah.
Because then
don't
you're
wanna
looking at
go
the
down
character
that
of the
path.
player. You're saying,
Well-
this bloke wouldn't go out to hurt a player because it's not in his nature the way he plays.
And then you've got to play with the other
Loose.
side as well, which says, well, Jared didn't break a guy's jaw, so you know what, it's okay.
No. But you still get this.
Yeah.
There's a minimum penalty, but
Yep.
there's a consequence if the
A
action.
loading.
The consequence of the injury adds to the.
Well, I guess
Now
that
you've got
also
now you're
comes
going
down
back to
intensity.
basically a loading system, although that's
Well,
at the time loading at the time rather than
just
a
so you know,
preloading.
way back in the 80s, they had this system, and it didn't work because there were players who were suspended for. They'd say, that's worth 5, 6, 7 games, but the bloke's out for 12 months, so you're out for 18 months,
Right.
which doesn't work.
No.
All right, let's move on. Bulldogs 24, Knights 10. Bulldogs are playing some good football.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way up to the final round where the wheels will fall off.
The combination between Burton and Addo Carr particularly has been really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow.
Even Flanagan's playing better. Averillo's doing well at fullback. They look like they're really enjoying themselves, and I think that's part of the thing is, they don't have a superstar team in general, but they look like they're really enjoying their footy at the moment, and that makes a huge difference, I think.
So, and they're buying well for next year as well.
Yep.
So,
Kikau, Marnie,
Knights.
Davey.
is Davey going there?
Davy's going there.
Davy's
Yeah.
going there. Is there
He'll be a
anything
good
you want
get.
to say about the Knights?
Wow. No Ponga, no Knights.
Oh, I think even with Ponga they wouldn't have come anywhere near.
They might have got closer. Well, your fullback's running your defence, and the Bulldogs just made meters every time they touched the ball. It was ridiculous.
Yep.
All right, Cowboys 34, Dragons 8. Dragons are in this at half time.
On the scoreboard.
Oh, no, I thought they were competing well with them by half
I
time.
don't know.
Cowboys have got gears.
They've got gears.
They've really got gears.
Yeah,
And,
it didn't look like that to me.
So apparently there's a number of clubs now in the hunt for Ben Hunt.
Really?
Yes. Titans want him, Dragons want him, and apparently there's a couple of other clubs that have inquired about him as well.
In what position? The half.
I'd say half.
Yeah.
Well, the Dragons said earlier this year they didn't want him, and if they were going to sign him, it was going to be on a reduced contract.
Well, who's going to pay him 1.2 anymore?
Yeah.
Well,
He's playing well, but he's not 1.2 million.
Well,
dollars.
mate, he's winning games for
Oh
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you put him in a star-studded side. He doesn't deserve to be 1.2.
Is he
million
1.2 at the Titans though?
Yep.
Because he's not in a start.
He's doing better than Fafita, who's on 1.2.
Mate, if the Titans managed to nab Ben Hunt and Kieran Foran, that would be
And Sam Barrels.
that would be a sensationally good move for them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right, later, gentlemen, who's going to do it?
My turn, I think.
You did it last week.
Did I? Oh, my turn again then. Go on, off you go. Go on. I don't want
No,
to hurt
you
your
got it in
feelings.
front
I
of
don't. Don't
do.
Oh, okay.
lift up your bottom lip, okay?
All
Off
right,
you
Tigers 36.
What?
We're doing
Tigers?
they're doing the
Tigers.
ladder, you idiot.
Yeah, Tigers 36. I saw the little symbol and went Tigers.
Oh goodness.
Panthers 36. Cowboys 30. Then we got the Sharkies on 28, and your top four is rounded out by the Storm and the Broncos and Parramatta, all on 26 points. we've got a bit of a fight for the 7th spot there, which is the Bunnies on 24 points. And then we've got a plethora of teams coming up the rear there. We've got the Roosters, we've got the Raiders, we've got the Eagles, all one win.
And the Dragons.
And the Dragons.
And then it's fall away.
Well, mathematically, the Dogs can still make the 8, and earlier in the year we wrote them off. However, then we've got the write-off teams. The Warriors, the Knights, the poor old Tigers, and the lowly Titans.
All right. I've got some topics I want to talk about. We're going to talk about Manly's player split first, but I have to disappear for a sec. You two talk about it, and I'll be back.
Manly's player split. Okay.
Other players split.
Okay.
What do you think, Tom? Are the players split?
Well, you can only go on what you hear in the news. By all accounts, there was one player who actually said that there's a lot of anger in the camp about the fact that clearly this person expressed that he doesn't understand what these players are about and what their religious beliefs are about. But also the fact that he didn't play means that he wonders whether they're invested in the team.
All right, no problem. Yeah, look, I don't know. Look, I'm being a follower of the club. I am on a number of different sites, and I can tell you that I think the general feeling from the fans is about 60-44.
644
for the 7 that stood down.
Okay.
Has it caused a split in the club? Well, as long as we're still talking about it, yes.
Yeah.
So to be perfectly honest, there's 2 journalists in particular that every day post articles about it, and that's Tony Adams and Denny Wilder. They're at it every single day, and sometimes multiple articles a day. So to be perfectly honest, I actually don't know.
Well, I guess the challenge is because Scott Penn came out the next day and said, okay, we've had a talk to the players. They're all on board. We had a love-in and it's all good. Except now the players have come and said, hang on, we didn't agree that next year we would be happy to wear the jersey as well.
Yeah.
So someone's telling porkies and someone needs to get it right.
So they need to work on their strategy for next year.
Here's the problem with having a political agenda in football. Sorry, let's have Indigenous and let's have women's, and that's it.
An Anzac round.
Yeah.
Oh, fine, Anzac round.
Yeah,
but
got to have Anzac round.
Nothing political. No. I mean, if we called for a Jesus Lives round of football, can you imagine what the scream would be from the players who aren't Christian? And within their right to do so. So why are you saying that these players...
look, and to be perfectly honest, and I've had this discussion with people, as a Manly fan, am I disappointed in the players? No, because I actually believe that you've got to stand by your conscience.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. Am I disappointed that the club chose to go down that particular route at that particular time? Yes.
The club should have said, fine, we're not going to run it. It's women in league anyway.
That I think smacks of I think that's incredibly bad timing.
And lastly, we've got a new CEO, Tony Mestrov, started on Monday. Good luck to the bloke. I remember Tony as a player. Really liked him as a player. Hard, no nonsense, straight down the middle. Played at South as well.
He played at Manly as well.
He was a Manly junior.
Okay, we're going to move.
Right.
You got 30 seconds to talk about stadiums and funding.
Stadiums and funding. All right, stadiums bring in income. They are used for multiple events. If we get our stadiums right, we get more people to games, more bums on seats, more events at areas, where therefore more money into the economy, more money for hospitals, more money for roads. Let's do it.
Okay.
Brian, you can't say bums. Okay.
Yep. Do I have to edit him now, do I?
Oh, bum.
Bummer.
Yep.
Yes.
You got 30 seconds to talk about Holbrook and O'Brien.
Yeah, well, both clubs struggling, and both clubs have said that they're supporting the coach. But how long can you wait? And O'Brien made a bit of a faux pas the other day, saying, I've been at 4 clubs that have been in grand finals. I know what defence looks like, and he actually recanted on it and said, look, I didn't want to show that I had a big ego.
Yeah, I didn't think that was such a big.
I didn't think it was either. But a lot of people misinterpret that. Somebody like Danny Wilder, who wanted to make a big scene out of it.
He has been involved in 4 grand finals.
Yeah.
Just not as the head coach.
Yeah, but unfortunately that hasn't transferred to clubland.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Okay. So both of them, you think will be gone by the end of the year?
I know. I think they'll probably survive till next year, but they won't last long to next year if they can't produce results.
Okay.
Agree.
All right, let's go on the Roosters
Wow.
and Broncos on Thursday night.
Go the Bronx.
Well, hang on, I'm not sure. No, actually, yeah.
Oh, look, I mean, it's obvious which way I'm going to go, but I think it's going to be tough for the Roosters. They're definitely, but if they can bring the form from the previous 2 weeks,
The previous week they're gone.
yeah. Look, they just need to hold the ball.
Yeah.
They've proven if they can hold the ball and get some possession, they can score points at will.
Yeah.
Seriously, they're a great team offensively.
I'm leaning to the Broncos.
Yep.
They have this great little halfback. I don't know if you've heard about him. He's playing really well, but Carrigan's a big loss.
Yes. Yes. But look, they've got their.
Hassel step up, play the extra minutes, go the extra mile. Yep.
Yeah, and I think the Roosters can be good enough to win, but it's going to be a hard one win.
All right. Easy game
Storm
next.
and Titans.
Storm.
Yep.
Storm.
For sure.
Will the Titans get within 20?
Nope.
Okay. Sea Eagles and Eels.
Interesting. It's at Four Pines, and sorry, am I allowed to say that? It's a brookie.
No, you
And-
just swore again.
It's a brookie, and the Eels will be without Mitchell Moses, so that's interesting. Look, there'll be a lot of pride on the line for the Seagulls. I think the
Ooh,
Eagles-
you're not allowed to say pride in the Seagulls anymore.
Sorry, there'll be a lot of intent.
And Cherry Evans is going for a record of.
Is it this weekend?
Is it this
What
weekend?
for?
Oh,
Club
mate.
game?
Most games played.
No, most games played as a half. Beaver's
No.
miles out.
Oh, is
Okay.
it?
No.
There was some record in today's paper.
Yeah,
So I think the Eagles will edge out the Eels.
yeah. I'm on the Eagles.
If
I'm
history has anything, the Eagles will win this because the Eels
I
can't
won
win
last week,
two in a
yeah.
row.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
Mitchell
yeah.
Moses. The 7 are back. It's at Brookie. No problem.
Rabbitohs and Warriors.
Go the Warriors.
The Warriors should win this in a canter. They'll miraculously improve about 90% and therefore threaten the Bunnies and take it down to the wire.
I'm so looking forward to you
We-
wearing my South jersey.
we are-
so looking forward.
We
to
are
it.
more biased than ever at the moment because our teams sit right behind the Rabbitohs, so we
As they
just want the
should.
Rabbitohs to lose.
It's the old
how do the
forever
Rabbit-
in my shadow.
How do the Rabbitohs lose that game? They can't.
This one, I'll be scared. I'll be upset if they do.
All right.
Raiders and Panthers.
Ooh, it's a good one.
You know what? I'm actually going the Raiders.
Yeah, I think I'll go the Raiders too.
And I mean that. I know that the Panthers started the year without Cleary, and I know that Sullivan and Salmon have been
Paired together.
and they've done a job on their own in the past. Together, big shoes to fill. I mean, Luai's such a threat at the line, and Kiri's
you know
kicking
what?
game's
Those-
exceptional.
They didn't lose the game while Luai and Cleary were out doing State of Origin.
If this had been at Penny Park, I would have picked the Panthers.
Yeah.
Because it's in freezing Canberra, and Canberra will be thinking to itself, let's make a statement.
Yeah,
Let's make
absolutely.
a statement. I think the Raiders will win. I don't want them to win because that's actually bad for us.
Actually,
but,
you're right. I'm on the Panthers. That's right. Go Panthers.
but
Yeah.
I think the Raiders will probably win this one.
Sharks and Dragons.
Sharks.
Sharks. Yeah.
No hope for the Dragons.
Jake's
No.
got nothing.
Sorry, Barry. No hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bulldogs and Cowboys.
I'm going Dogs.
Wow.
I think they can do
They'll
it.
be competitive.
I'm not sure I can pick them, but I think they can do it.
The Cowboys. I've been watching them, thinking, what are they doing well? And it's that they shut down the opposition forwards.
Yep.
But interestingly enough, the Bulldogs forwards just managed to hold their own against most clubs, and it's their outside backs that are doing the damage. So I'm actually leaning towards the Dogs.
Okay.
I think it'll be a narrow win to the Cowboys.
Cowboys. I'm probably leaning towards the Cowboys, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Bulldogs.
I'd love to see the Dogs win. It'd be great.
Tigers and Knights.
Tigers are noughts.
Yeah.
Because that's how many points the Knights are going to score. Naught.
Tigers will win.
Yep.
Yep.
Done.
Amazing. Did we really think a couple of weeks ago we'd be saying the Tigers are going to easily beat the Knights?
The Tigers are going to easily beat anyone. Even without Jackson Hastings, they'll do all
All
right.
right.
Yeah.
Footy tips very quickly.
Yep.
ISO 244. It's getting very close actually.
How did
Yep.
you go with your perfect with your
I
joke
got in
around?
front of him, and I'm still about 10 behind you.
Yeah, how many points you score?
Oh, I think I don't know. I only got about 5 games. So
Oh,
probably
okay.
what's that? 10, 20 points.
I'm not on the list.
No, because we are still very low.
Okay.
In fact, no. You're actually 11th.
Yes.
but I only do the top 10. So
Yeah, good.
Well, from now on, you need to do the top 11.
Yep.
top 11.
All right, next.
Robbie's Random's leading super coach, and so we now move into the semi-finals.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had a massive loss.
You did. So Coz's crew.
Yeah, I had a massive loss.
So on that score, there's the semi-finals,
Oh no,
and so Coz's
I didn't
crew,
even look. Robbie, go easy on me, will you?
So Coz's crew and Stormy May, sorry Sally, you're gone for the year. So
Yeah.
that's the top 8. So the first game and the last game all have a second chance. The two in the middle, which
Are
is
gone.
me, lose and you're gone.
Yep.
Mm.
And and Glizzy of Doom, just so you know, Grinners actually finished top 10% last week in the comp.
Oh
Wow.
really?
Yep. That's what happens when you captain Nanai, who ended up scoring 300 points.
Jeremiah Nanai,
Yeah.
captain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you get double points for captain.
And it worked.
Wow. So,
All right.
All right, and so we'll see you all next week.
Enjoy. No.
anyone-
Enjoy. Parramatta suck. No Mitchell Moses for me to hack on. Sorry, Steve. Not you, Steve.
Not me,
Steve.
Steve. So that
And
was the
Janelle.
intelligent thing you want to end up on,
and-
Tom?
yeah, rest up, Roosters.
For
See you
what?
Rest
tomorrow
up.
night.
Yeah, rest up.
Oh,
Rest
big
up,
night.
Roosters.
Big
Don't
night.
even bother showing up like you did against Manly.
All right, that's the end of our show. Thank you for watching. We'll do it all again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'd take it out if you did it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
No,
hard night for
I
you.
just sigh when I listen to you sometimes.
Please.
Goodness.